the level of judo here in Europe. Okay, Rick, tell us a little bit about the level of judo in Europe as compared to, let's say, America, for instance. Don't sugarcoat it.
European judo's superb. And in France alone, in France, you have more people practice judo than the whole of Japan. So in France, they have I think 1.5 million people practice judo. In Japan, there's not that many. So it's going from Japan, and that's just in France. Then you have the Russian states. Then you have in Britain, there's a strong judo background. The Budokai started over 100 years ago.
And that's here in London?
Yeah, that's in London. Yeah, the Budokai. Then you have they had the Edinburgh Club here with guys like the guys I trained with, like Billy Cusack and Mark Preston and Graham Randall, George Kerr, who's a 9th dan in judo.
Tell a little bit about some of the guys that have come from all over the world and said something about the judo here.
What George did, because he had a lot of ties with Japan, people like Yasuhiro Yamashita, Peter Seisenbacher, Hidetoshi Nakanishi, Nobuyuki Sato, all the top names in Japan would come here. And usually what they would do if they had somebody like a student over there, somebody that was a champion and wanted to be a student, they would send them to Edinburgh so you could do studies here and still do judo at a high level, but also there would be a lot of interaction going on. So we had Yukimasai Nakamura, and he was a world and Olympic champion, 66 kilos, phenomenal player. And he came over and he helped the guys, but the guys also helped him. And so there was an exchange going on. And so the European judo is really strong, different from Japanese classical judo. The European judo has a lot of Russian influence now because of the belt gripping, the overhand, the taking the back grip. Whereas the classical judo is more collar, sleeve lapel type judo, which is beautiful. And now it's kind of like a mixture going on. Some people are going back to the classical judo, and some people are still using the kind of sambo type grips and so forth.
And they're implementing a lot of the wrestling too now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like
the Georgians. And
yeah, the Georgians are a nightmare, especially the lighter weights. They get under you. They're doing a lot of kataguruma, fireman carry, pickups.
What about the Cubans?
The Cubans are like that too. The Cubans have a different sort of influence, but they'll train because they're state sponsored. And they really do train, but a lot of teams don't train as a team. They really train, live together as a team. Even in the top tournaments, they'll be sleeping on. They used to sleep on the floor, and they would be given oranges, you know. So, but a lot of other teams would be going out and doing stuff. Even if they'd won an Olympic medal, they were still treated like just one member of the team. And there's a phenomenal, especially the ladies in the Cuban. They have a great coach. He's been their coach for about 20 years now, and he's a phenomenal coach for the ladies. And I mean, they're always taking medals in the world and Olympic stage. So the Cubans are just excellent, train really hard. And the guy you were talking about the other day there,
Hector Lombard.
Yeah, superb. You know, very, very, very good.
Here we are driving at, what is this called here?
This is the Queen's Park.
Now look at the swans on the right. Up here you have the Abbey, which is an old, what is that, a church? Old building up here, if you could get that. Look at that church, beautiful swans here. Look at that look how beautiful that is. You couldn't even, Don, you could take a picture of that. There's a button on top of it, just hit the picture. Zoom in on it a little. That is beautiful. God's country. Look at that, how beautiful that is. Being from Minnesota, I can really admire this type of setting, and I love the outdoors. Look at that, ruins, but see the cross up there? That's where
Queen's Castle.
The Queen's Castle is right below it.
Holyrood Palace, yeah.
Great. Can you tell a little bit about that up there, the ruins, what that was?
What they did was that they were actually going to build something based on Athens, because Edinburgh is called the Athens of the North. Edinburgh was voted the most beautiful city in Europe, and so they said we want to recreate Athens because we're called Athens of the North, and so they started building up here, and then they ran out of money.
Oh man,
that's true. That was a long time ago.
Now look at that castle surrounding.
But over here we have this is the Parliament, the Scottish Parliament.
Scottish Parliament.
That was
Now what? How much money was that?
408.
Oh, Queen's Palace, right straight ahead here.
Palace of Holyrood.
What's it called?
Palace of Holyrood. Holyrood House.
And this is the Scottish Parliament here, which was it was only how much? 480 million pounds, which is about $1 billion, close to about $800 million.
This is the Royal Mile. This is the road that goes from the palace to the castle.
The Royal Mile,
Yeah.
which is one of the oldest, most popular roads here that people travel on to sightsee.
Yeah, for sightseeing. Yeah.
Don't they have the ghost tour up here and everything?
Yeah. And we're going to go to Erik's shop right now. We're going to go to Erik's shop.
This shop actually isn't my shop, but it's a shop that I wanted to see because they've got tons and tons of yes, Celtic knots and crosses and cool things you can't get in America.
That's great. That's good.
Now look at that. Look at the buildings, though. Best part about Edinburgh is not only the people, but that's a store right there.
Store.
Yeah, that was it. Best thing here about that I really like is the buildings, the structure of the buildings, how old everything is, and how respectful that everyone is to all this. And people aren't trying to modernize everything, but they're actually they take in and admire their heritage and just a lot of the past things that exist here. It's a castle. Okay, here we go. What is this again now? We're coming back into...
We're going back to your shop.
To the Royal Mile.
Yeah.
How old are these buildings, Rick?
I think they go back to about 1500, some of them. Maybe even before then. But at the same time I was born. We're happy to be here. This is
knitwear, and we are here at the best shop, one of the best shops with most of the Celtic things that we've got here in Scotland. We have a cobblestone road. Rick, how old is this road?
It's 325.
325 years young. Over here, what do we have here?
Well, this is Princess Street. This is one of the biggest hotels in Edinburgh.
What? Wow.
Over here. Beyonce stayed there.
And I'm pretty sure it might be haunted. Looks haunted. Oh, look at that.
Fair and Amusement Park. Very amusing. What's that black tower? Is that called the Black Tower?
That's called the Walter Scott Monument. So Walter Scott.
Is that the one that people spit on?
No, that's the heart up here.
Oh, okay.
That's the heart.
And what's the purpose of them spitting on the? It's for good luck.
It's supposed to be good luck. I don't know why. It's called the Heart of Midlothian, meaning it's in the centre. Midlothian is like the county that Edinburgh is within, and they put the heart there, and that's like the heart of Midlothian, where it started from.
There's the castle up there.
It's supposed to be good luck, you know. And this is a winter wonderland, and because we're coming to Christmas, and all the kids like to come here. And now we're going into Waverley Station.
This is the train station where we're getting on our train, headed to Aberdeen
to Pat Davis
for the day. Any final words, Rick?
Well, thanks for coming, Erik and Tonya. Really appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you in June. Great seminar, absolutely fantastic. Thanks very much for coming.
Happy holidays to you and your kids.
And to you and yours.